Some breaking news has come out that the Toronto Blue Jays are now the favorite to go ahead and trade for Juan Soto. We're not sure where the talks are between the two teams, but we know that the Yankees and the Padres kind of fell apart in their negotiations. So we'll break that down and much more in this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. Now, we're coming at you with a double upload because some breaking news just dropped out of Blue Jays land. The Toronto Blue Jays are looking to do something big. That's been very well documented over the course of these past few weeks here. They're in the market for Shohei Otani. We know that. We don't know whether or not they're going to get him. That remains to be seen. But they're also in the market for trading for Juan Soto. Now, we also don't know if they'll be able to acquire him. But apparently, according to some sources around the industry that have gotten some things right and some things wrong, so let's take it with a grain of salt, they have been sourced as saying the Blue Jays are now the favorites to land Juan Soto. Take that as you may, but still, this is big-time news. And like I've been saying over the past few videos here, Juan Soto is no consolation prize. He is one of the game's best players, and he could definitely put the Blue Jays into World Series contention with or without Shohei Otani.
Yeah, this is, like you said, a double upload today. We don't usually do this, but it is the time of year where winter meetings are about to start. A quick reminder, hit the subscribe button before you into it. About 70% of you guys aren't subscribed. But Peter, we have some news to get into today. And again, thank you for 10K, by the way. Your support's been unbelievable. Like you just said, a report dropped, and it is getting quoted by the scores from Hector Gomez. And here's the original tweet right here. So from Hector Gomez saying the Blue Jays are now favorites to land Juan Soto after negotiations between the Yankees and Padres have stalled. And this tweet's the screenshot's a little bit glitched, but you can basically see there that source Blue Jays intensify talks for Juan Soto. Now, Peter, Hector Gomez, we've used him last offseason. Take it with a grain of salt. He's not a no-name reporter. He is a reporter. He's gotten things right in the past. He's gotten the Barrios extension, I believe, right. Some other stuff with the Blue Jays right, and he's known for his Dominican player sources, and he's gotten a few things wrong. Like you said, Peter, he named Freddie Freeman going to the Jays, so he's been hit or miss, but he's definitely gotten some things right. He does have sources. I would just say they're fairly murky sources, but Peter, this isn't really a Shohei Otani type situation. Soto talks are way more likely to get leaked per se than, let's say, the Shohei Otani sweepstakes. What are your thoughts on this? It makes sense, but absolute bomb. It is blowing up on Twitter. We had to get our reaction to you guys out ASAP in case you missed it, because it is a Saturday night after all. Juan Soto could be on his way to Toronto.
He could be, and usually I'd be hesitant to accredit Hector Gomez for his sources because he has been wrong, and he bamboozled an entire Blue Jays fan base when he told us that Freddie Freeman was coming home, and that couldn't be further from the truth. So I am going to take this with a grain of salt. However, there have been a lot of sources before this came out, before this news came out, that the Blue Jays were involved in Juan Soto. So it's not crazy to think, it's not like that Freddie Freeman situation where, the Jays were in on him, but there were no official talks, and maybe they had a meeting with him, but nothing got leaked. So there was no concrete evidence that that was legit and that was happening. But now the Blue Jays, they want to do something big. They've been saying it. They've been hinting at it all offseason. And now we've seen all these reports for Juan Soto saying that the Blue Jays are going to be in the mix. There's going to be a lot of other contending teams in the mix that maybe if they don't get Otani, they're going to shift their focus to Juan Soto. And I think this is legit. I think the Blue Jays are definitely trying to make a strong push. I still think they're in on Otani. Don't get me wrong. But like I said, this is not a backup plan. This is not a plan B here for the Blue Jays. Juan Soto is one of the game's best players, and he's going to require that value in return for his services. But man, this is very exciting.
It's been a very, very exciting offseason to say the least, and I agree with you here. Again, we'll make it very clear. He's not as reliable as Jeff Passan or Ken Rosenthal, for example, so we'll make that clear to all you guys. But he's gotten things right in the past, and he is a reporter. Now, Peter, people on Jay's Twitter are a little bit freaking out. I'm curious, again, you just mentioned it, but I'll touch on it a bit more. This, I don't think, takes us out of the Shohei Otani sweepstakes. Some people are thinking that, they think they're out on Otani, so now they're pivoting towards Juan Soto. It's possible that that is the case, but I think it's more so just the case of they're going for Juan Soto either way, because I guess it's a quote-unquote backup plan, but it's not. It's a 1A, 1B plan. And looking at Juan Soto's stats, Peter, we didn't bring him up in earlier today's video, so just to harp on them here a little bit, he has been arguably the best hitter since he came into the league. He had one quote-unquote down year last season with an 890 or an 853 OPS between teams. But Peter, this guy is the real deal. The package, again, is unknown. Ricky Tiedemann, he is on an expiring deal. We would like a sign and trade, especially if you're trading Ricky Tiedemann. But at this point in time, talks have stalled between other teams, and that's a little bit scary because maybe that means the package is going to be very, very rich. And maybe Ross Atkins says, I want to keep my job, I don't care, throw in Ricky Tiedemann and pray that they can re-sign Juan Soto in the offseason next year. But Peter, he's an unbelievable player, and hopefully he doesn't take us out of the Otani talks, but at this point, he'd be a great 1B option if that is the case.
Yeah, another way you could look at it is that maybe this is to entice Shohei Otani, saying, hey, look, man, we're going for this. And we're getting one of the top 5 hitters in the game today who has 1 year left on his deal. We're going for broke next season, and we're going to try to win a championship. We're going to try to get you to the playoffs for the first time in your career. And Shohei is looking at that, and he's not thinking about the 10, 12-year deal that he's going to sign. He's thinking about the next couple of seasons right now, that is. Obviously, he wants to get paid. He wants that financial security. But he's looking at the next couple of seasons here. And if the Blue Jays do land a trade here for Juan Soto or one of the other big players on the market like a Cody Bellinger, I mean, that just shows how serious they are to win right now. And that's very enticing to Shohei Otani. He can't pitch right now, so he's going to go to a team with a great rotation. He's going to go to a team with a very good lineup, and he's going to bolster that even further. So they're trying to make themselves big players. They are big players just because of the money that they have, and that's very enticing to a guy like Shohei Otani. Whether he picks the Dodgers or the Blue Jays remains to be seen, but it's exciting to think about, and they're showing not only Otani but all free agents that they're going for it, and they're trying their best here to field the most competitive team that they can. And as a fan base, we got to be very excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, we can't take any of this for granted in this very moment. This is about excited. Let's be honest, this is the peak excitement we're probably going to experience this offseason is over the next couple of days. And in case you missed the video from earlier, this is, again, it was the Jays. An analyst picked the Jays to sign Shohei Otani over the Dodgers, and the meetings are expected to go on over the next few days as winter meetings are started. So like you said, I don't even know if the Jays have met Shohei Otani yet. So maybe it's more of an enticing scenario because Shohei Otani has made it clear his priority is to win. And if you bring in Juan Soto, you are going to be, I would say, World Series favorites instantly if you acquire Soto and Shohei Otani, that is. So, I mean, it would be a 1A, 1B situation. Bring me both of them. If it means we're out on Otani, oh well. At this point, I'm happy right now. Whether this report is fully legit or not, you made a very, very key point there. Hector Gomez didn't just make this up in the sense of this was already being reported by guys like Ken Rosenthal. He is just saying that talks have escalated even further, which, who knows if that's the case. It would make total sense for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, maybe he's got a personal connection to Juan Soto, so maybe he is Dominican after all. He's got good relationships with these Dominican players for the most part, so maybe he has some inside information that we're not all privy to. But yeah, the reason why I said that was because it wasn't something that just came out of the blue. It's been ongoing now for a couple of days that the Blue Jays are involved in Juan Soto. How far the talks have gotten, we're not quite sure, but they're in the mix, and the main thing that you got to do is just get yourself in there, and then everything will fall into place after that. But it's exciting, definitely.
And I suspect that the two moves, Otani and Juan Soto, will happen pretty quickly between each other here if Soto is ultimately going to get traded. But that'll wrap up the video. Let us know in the comment section what your thoughts are on this wild time to be a Blue Jays fan. Hopefully this isn't the peak. Hopefully the peak is if we actually get one of these guys. But that'll wrap it up. If you want to check out our video from earlier today, click on your screen now. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.